Good morning and welcome to our first official Committee on Ways and Means meeting of the 83rd Legislative Session. Committee Secretary, will you please call the roll?
Assembly members Anderson, present. Bacchus, present. Brown May, here. Dickman, here. Hafen, here. Hibbets, here. Howdigi, here. Koenig, here. Muska, here. O'Neill, here. Torres Fawcett, here. Watts, here. Yeager, here. And Chair Monroe Moreno.
And I am here. This morning, committee, we are going to have presentations on our committee organization. We will start out with our standing policies, staff closings, new accounts, a fiscal brief, member introductions, ways and means staff introductions, and we'll conclude with our fiscal analysis division intros. And the last item before we adjourn will be public comment. So with that, we will ask our fiscal analyst, Ms. Kaufman, and invite you to the testimony table to start off with our standing policies.
Thank you, Madam Chair. For the record, Sarah Kaufman, Legislative Council Bureau Fiscal Analysis Division. On your table, you should have a copy of the standing policies of the Assembly Committee on Ways and Means. I'll go over a high-level summary of the document to provide you with just a summary of what it entails. So items 2, 3, and 4 pertain to presenters. Discussion of the committee members actually begins on item number 5. So if you look at item 5, it indicates that there may be certain circumstances where the chair may conduct ways and means in the legislative buildings located in Las Vegas. Item 6 identifies the professional attire required by both committee members and presenters of the committee, which also specifies that it is to include suit jackets. Item number 7 discusses providing an atmosphere of professional courtesy. Item 8 states that presenters are expected to testify in person. There will be remote options only if requested and then considered with the approval of the chair. And item 9 discusses the possibility of the members participating remotely. For a member to participate remotely, the chair's approval is required in advance. If they are presenting remotely, they must keep their cameras on at all times during the meeting. Item number 10 notes special circumstances that the chair may consider the committee member participating remotely. Item 11 states that committee members should participate and pay full attention to the individuals testifying and refrain from utilizing electronic devices during that time. There may be instances where the meetings are held virtually, and if that occurs, item number 12 indicates that any votes taken at that time must be taken with a roll call vote. Item number 13 indicates that the subcommittees make recommendations regarding their assigned budgets to the full committee, and the full committee makes actual approvals of the items being considered. And finally, item number 14 states that definite action on individual budgets will require a majority of the entire committee, and a majority of the committee is also required to reconsider actions on an individual budget. And with that, Madam Chair, that concludes my presentation on the standing policies, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Members, do you have any questions for Ms. Kaufman? Not seeing any. The only thing that I will add is that behind us on the wall there are baskets in the room with your CIP binders. I'm asking that you please leave them here in the room. Don't take the baskets or the binders out, and let your attaché know if you do take it out, to bring it back to review it. But not seeing any questions from any of the members, we'll go to staff closings.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So on the dais, you all should have received a copy of the document entitled Budget Closing Recommendations. It has a bunch of yellow lines and a couple of green ones. This document identifies the budget accounts fiscal staff has proposed for staff closing. Staff closings are budget accounts that will not receive a hearing. At the close, they will be presented to the committee first for your consideration by our staff. You'll be able to ask our staff any questions related to that, but there will not be a formal presentation from the agencies. So on the document, the yellow highlight symbolizes what is being recommended for staff close. And then there is also a green highlight that identifies the new budgets that are also provided. You may see a couple of purple lines. Those are actually budget accounts that were submitted in the executive budget, but they don't actually have any budget activity in them, and so they're just dormant accounts. So with that, I believe the chair had indicated that if you do have any concerns about these particular, any of these individual budgets being considered staff close, that you make your requests to her by the end of this week, so Friday, on any of the accounts that you would like to actually have a hearing on, and the chair will consider that. And with that, that concludes my presentation on the staff closing document.
Members, any questions on the staff closings? And I'll ask that you have those to me, as she said, on Friday before the end of business day. Awesome. Thank you. All right, not seeing any questions, we'll go on to new accounts.
So the next document that I would just point out on the dais that you all have is a document entitled Budget Accounts Included for the First Time in the 2025 to 27 Executive Budget. So this document just provides a little synopsis of new budgets that are being recommended in the executive budget. They actually correlate with the green budget accounts that are identified in your staff closing. And so this is just for informational purposes on the new accounts that are being proposed by the governor. If there aren't any questions with that, I can move on to the fiscal brief. Okay.
Go ahead.
So the last thing I want to identify is a little booklet that is on the dais for all of you. It's called the fiscal brief. This is something new that the Fiscal Analysis Division is doing. Ever since like the 1980s, the Fiscal Division has actually published what we've called the Fiscal Report, and that has come out usually at the very end of February. And we received some feedback from the legislators regarding that report, and essentially some of the comments on it was that it came out too late. It was pretty thick. It was well over 300 pages. It was hard to digest, not very portable. And so a lot of the legislators weren't using it. And so the Fiscal Analysis Division developed this. And so this is a very condensed version of what we had previously provided, which is the fiscal brief. And this provides pretty much a lot of the information that was provided in the fiscal report. So all the statistical information that we provided in the fiscal report, some of the discussions related to the fund balance, the general fund trends are all in here. So we wanted to make sure that the things that were important in the fiscal report was still being provided to you, but we're providing it to you on day one for a committee to actually utilize and find it as a tool. So we hope that this is something that you know you find useful, and just we're really kind of proud of it. So wanted to let you know that it's out there for you.
Ms. Kaufman, to you and the rest of the fiscal staff, thank you so much for this. This is amazing. I'm loving this book. I don't know about other people, but I find myself between Vegas and the Carson trip looking at the big sheets of paper that come in This will be great. It can fit in your purse, your briefcase, what have you. I know it took a lot of work putting it together. I truly appreciate it, as do the members. Are there any questions for Ms. Kaufman on our new fiscal brief booklet? No? Overview of the executive budget. There'll be some changes, y'all, so, get your highlighter and your pens ready. There'll be some updates. All right, well, thank you.
I would point out that there are some blank pages at the very end. If you all want to have autographs for the 20 or the 83rd legislative session, you can have them there.
I like that. We can have the autographs along with the video that Mr. Leiser's going to put together. All right, well, we will start with our committee members' introductions. And we're going to start on the first row to my right with Assemblyman Hibbets.
Thank you, Chair. Brian Hibbets, Assembly District 13. This is my first time sitting on this committee, and I'm very happy to be here working with all of you to get this budget right and do what's best for our state. Thank you.
Assemblymember Hibbets, since you're brand new to our committee, and I know some people got to know you last session, others may not have gotten to know you as well as I have. Could you share what your career was before joining the legislature?
Certainly, Chair. Thank you. I spent 27 years with the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department, retired on December 31st, 2021 as a police sergeant, and in my last assignment, I was in charge of the concealed weapons detail.
Thank you. Well, welcome to Assembly Ways and Means. Next, we'll go to our next member, Assemblymember Torres Fawcett.
Hi, thank you, Chair. I'm Assemblywoman Selena Torres Fawcett, and this is my fourth time in the legislature. I'm excited to be on Ways and Means for the first time.
Oh, there's so much more about you. And so when you're not here in the legislature on the 120 days and out serving the community those other days, what do you do in your spare time?
My spare time.
And career.
Nothing. So in my day-to-day, I'm the executive director of a small public charter school in East Las Vegas. And I recently was married, so that's been a fun, exciting part of our marriage honeymoon is to come up to Carson City for 120 days and be away from home.
Thank you for that. I don't know if that would be my choice for a honeymoon, so you married the right guy that's putting up with that. Next up is Assemblymember Anderson.
Thank you, Chair. Nathan Anderson. This is my third session representing Assembly District 30, which is, I call it the heart of the Truckee Meadows, so it's mostly Sparks, a little bit of Reno area. This is my second time serving on Ways and Means, and I think I learned last year that I know absolutely nothing of this iceberg. So greatly appreciate being appointed to it again. Thank you. And do you want me to go into my profession? Sure. Why not? I'm a teacher in my real life, as I call it. And so during the interim, I would come back from the meetings, and I would just bring one of the books. I would not bring the whole book, and I'd be like, this is what I have to do during these committee meetings. I'd rather be teaching with you guys. And so it was a great opportunity to be able to kind of talk about government in action with my civic students. So thank you.
Awesome. Next up, Assemblymember Brown May.
Thank you, Chair. Tracy Brown May, Nevada Assembly District 42, right in the heart of the Las Vegas city. Although we are unincorporated Clark County, mostly. I think this is my third session, my second serving on Ways. This is my favorite committee. It's the hardest working, most diligent, longest hours, and yet I wouldn't miss it for anything, right? I think it's also obviously how our state functions. So the most important for me, balancing the dollars and cents. As we start this legislative session, I think the most exciting thing that could have ever happened, right? Baby Everly was born last week, and so she's the smartest kid on the planet because she came before we swore in. So brand new grandma, that will be, what keeps me going, I think, through the next 120 days. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. And I can confirm that being a grandparent is the absolute best job ever, ever. Next up, Assemblymember O'Neill.
Thank you, Chair. As you say, Assemblymember P.K. O'Neill, District 40, all of Carson City, Story County, and parts of Washoe. This is my fourth session, my second on Ways and Means. I was here in 15, took a break, and then came back for 21, 23, and now 25. I retired from law enforcement. I did 40 years with the State Division of Investigation, retired as a division chief. And when we're not in session, which at times I almost feels like we're always in session between interim and all the work we do for our constituents, I am married to the most wonderful woman in the world. I don't know why she puts up with me, but I thank the Lord every day she does. We have 4 kids, 6 grandchildren spread out literally all over the world. Fortunately, the federal government and the Department of Defense, being the military, keeps them moving. And I think that's it, Chair, unless you have any other questions.
That is it. And welcome back to the Ways and Means Committee. Next up, we'll have Assemblymember Dickman.
Thank you, Chair. So this is Jill Dickman. I represent District 31. I'm sort of between Assemblywoman Anderson and Assemblywoman Hanson. I have all that North sparks, but anyway, this is my 4th term. Like PK, I was here in 2015, and then took a couple terms off, not by choice, but this is my 3rd time on Ways and Means, and it is a lot of work and a lot of hours, but it's really rewarding, and you learn something every time. In my real life, my husband and I have a manufacturing company, and my husband is the new chairman of the revived Nevada Manufacturers Association. And in my fun life, I show one of my little Yorkies.
Awesome. Thank you. And then we'll come up to the second row, and we'll start to my far left. Go ahead.
Greg Koenig. This is my 2nd term, and this is my first time on Ways, and it's a lot. I think it's going to be fun. It's interesting. I was a county commissioner and a school board trustee, and we were controlled a lot by what happened in this committee, and so it's kind of interesting to be on the other side and seeing how it affects the local entities, and it's going to be a good session. And I'm an optometrist, check eyes when I'm not doing this, and the best thing about this year is my son graduated in May, and so he's back checking eyes today, full schedule, and I am here, and so it's a lot easier this session.
Well, congratulations on the help in the office and your son. At the end of session, after all the reading, we might all need to make an appointment with you. So, moving on to our next member.
Thank you, Chair. I am Erica Mosca. I represent Assembly District 14 in East Las Vegas. This is my 2nd session. Prior to being elected, I was a founder and executive director of a nonprofit for 10 years, so budgets very much excite me. I was on Interim Finance Committee where I feel like I learned a lot, so thank you so much. And in my career, currently I am an executive coach, and my husband is in the military, and I've recently become a mom through the foster care system. So thank you for having me on this committee.
Thank you. And your boys are absolutely adorable. And as a former foster child who was adopted, I thank you for being that for someone else. Assemblymember Watts.
Thank you, Chair. Good morning, everyone. Howard Watts. I represent Assembly District 15, right in the heart of the Las Vegas Valley. I am currently serving in my 4th term and my 3rd on Ways and Means. Had the honor of chairing the subcommittee on public safety, natural resources, and transportation last year, and again this year as well, so thank you for that. In my spare time, which is not as abundant as I'd like it to be, I run I'm a small business owner, run a small public relations firm, and then whenever I can get time outside of that, I'm outside hiking, camping, backpacking, all that good stuff. Glad to be back. Thank you.
Thank you and welcome back. Next up is our majority leader.
Thank you, Chair. I'm Assembly Member Sandra Howdigy. I represent Assembly District 41 down in the south, mostly unincorporated Clark County with a little piece of Henderson. This is my 5th term, my 4th serving on the Ways and Means Committee, and like Assembly Member Brown May, it's my favorite committee as well because all of the things that we care about come through this committee. State agencies won't work right if we don't get it right in this committee, and Nevadans get to benefit from the services that a lot of the state agencies and nonprofits provide that we get to work on in this committee. So thank you, Chair. Oh, in my spare time, I've spent my personal career in housing for about 17 years, and I'm also the proud mom of an orange tabby named Bob.
Thank you so much. And next up will be the best vice chair ever.
Thank you so much, Madam Chair. I'm Assemblymember Shay Backus. I have the privilege to serve the constituents of Assembly District 37, which is in the northwest portion of Las Vegas. And not only does it have unincorporated parts of Clark County and City of Las Vegas, I recently learned we have some federal land sitting in there that would make some nice locations for some affordable housing if we could get a good deal from the federal government. So that was a joy to learn this between the sessions. This is my 3rd session, my 2nd session serving on Ways and Means, and I appreciate the chair and entrusting me for my 2nd session to serve as vice chair, and I hope I can live up to being a really good chair for her, vice chair for her. I also will continue to serve as chair of the K through 12 NSHE CIP subcommittee, as well as now I get a vice chair government, so I'm really looking forward to that. This is such a joy. In my personal capacity, I'm a shareholder of I think we're bigger than a micro business now, so I'm kind of excited for that. Opposite as my colleague down to the end, I get to entrust my father to come in and try to step in and take over some of my cases when I'm not here. I'm a civil commercial litigator. I do some transactional work as well. But one fun thing before I went into that, I was an auditor for a couple of years before I went to law school, so I think that's why I really enjoy Ways and Means. Thank you.
Thank you. And next up, we have Speaker.
Thank you so much, Chair, and good morning. I'm Steve Yeager. I represent Assembly District 9, which is in southwest Las Vegas. So if you know Vegas, it's where Bishop Gorman is. It's sort of the heart of my district. This is my 5th session in the legislature, and I think many of you know my first 3 sessions I chaired Judiciary, and they're meeting right next door to us. So every time I walk by, I look in there longingly because I really enjoyed being on that committee. Obviously, as the speaker last session was my first time on this committee, so this will be my 2nd time. And, I used to say that Assembly Judiciary was the busiest committee. I know my colleague, Assembly Member Torres Fawcett, used to always say Government Affairs was the hardest working committee. There's no doubt in my mind that this is the hardest working committee. I'm always surprised at how many agendas we have. The chair will tell you I'm always complaining, why do we meet at 8 o'clock every morning? Could we do 8:30 or 9 o'clock on occasion? And then I look out here at just all the wonderful staff we have, and it's just amazing to me how many people work in the background to help make this budget happen. And just really, every time I reach out for a question, I just get great information right away. So I just want to recognize that, this is really a lot of work on this committee. And we get to be up here and ask the questions and make the votes and all that stuff, but really it's the folks in the background that power this committee. When I'm not in the legislature, with the limited free time I have, I do practice a little bit of personal injury law. I used to be a public defender doing criminal law. I really enjoyed that job, but hard to make it work with public service. And then, my real passion is getting out on the trails and hiking and running. In fact, this morning I drove by the Lincoln Bypass Trail and I saw a car parked there and I said, the snow's probably melted, it's probably not icy. And I almost stopped there instead of come to the building. But I'm crossing my fingers that maybe the weather holds for a couple more weeks and I'll have a chance to get out there. But Chair, honored to serve on this committee under your leadership this session.
Thank you so much. Well, maybe we'll have an evening Ways and Means nature walk or something to get you out. I don't know. But you'd have to bring your fiscal brief with you on the walk. So. And next up, Assembly Member Hafen.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Gregory Hafen II, Prump, Nevada, and when the speaker said he wanted 8:30 committees, I'm thinking we will have 8:30 p.m. committees. There is no doubt about that in my mind. I've been on this committee for a few sessions now, so wanted to throw out that I'm happy to fill in as chair or vice chair at any time for any subcommittee that you need. I'm here to help and serve. First and foremost, I'm a father to a wonderful son, Harrison. Sadly, he's at home sick right now. So, buddy, if you're watching, I hope you're starting to feel better. Small business owner in Pahrump, run a number of family-run businesses. The major employer for me is a water and sewer company.
Awesome. And the one thing he did leave out is that he is the minority leader in the Assembly. So congratulations on that. So that leaves me. I'm Assembly Member Danielle Monroe Moreno. I represent Assembly District 1, which is primarily in the city of North Las Vegas with a small portion of Las Vegas. This is my 5th session. I came into this legislative body with my Majority Leader Hodeggy and Speaker Yeager, so we're kind of like the old folks here in the legislature. This is my 2nd session as chair. I was vice chair of this committee for 2 sessions, and prior to that, I chaired the Growth and Infrastructure Committee. I am retired law enforcement, retired the year that I ran for office. I'm a mom, and the best job ever is grandma to our 7 grandchildren, and I love this, so that I think that makes me a little crazy. I don't know. When people say that the job is 120 days, it is not 120 days. It's 120 days in the public eye in this building, but the work as a legislator is 24/7 for the whole 2 years that you're elected to office if you're doing it right. But I love what we do, and I love the interactions with our constituents. But we only can do this job because of the staff that we have behind the scenes doing the work. And members, you can see the staff that's here in the audience. They make us look good. They make us look really good. So the next step, we're going to have the Ways and Means staff introductions. There are the people that work on the assembly side, and then after that, it will be our fiscal analyst division intros. We could not do any of this work without you all. I thank you in advance. I apologize for those early morning briefings that some of you have to get to for us, and those late night briefings that you have to do. Those weekends, and I'm going to just warn you now, we'll probably have more weekends than we've had in previous sessions. So remember, you love us as we go through that. And I do feed you, right? If you feed them, they will come, right? So we will start off with the Ways and Means staff introductions.
Hello and good morning. My name is Sierra Hernandez, and I have the honor, the distinct honor of serving as the attaché to Chair Monroe Moreno this legislative session. Just a little bit about me. First and foremost, I'm the product of hardworking immigrant parents from Oaxaca, Mexico, whose lived experiences have really shaped who I am and has expanded my horizon and my perspective on life. And it's because of them, and it's because I've got the honor of being able to work with them in hard manual labor jobs from a young age that I know about the importance of work, but more specifically, the value of a dollar. So I think it makes a lot of sense that I spend my first session with the chair of Ways and Means. But outside of that, I'm the oldest of 3. My sister actually is being sent off to boot camp in Missouri as she has joined our National Guard. And my younger brother aspires to be an NBA basketball player, but he's told me on occasion that if that fails, he will just settle for being a politician. But with that in mind, really, I am here to not just serve our chair this legislative session, but by extension, this committee and our great state of Nevada. But with that said, I'll pass it off to our intern. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hello, everybody. My name is Brandon. I am a senior at UNR. I'll be graduating in May, and I'm interning for Assemblymember Monroe Moreno for this upcoming session. I would just like to say it's only my second day, but everybody I've met in the building has just been incredibly gracious. I know how time-intensive this job can be, and it's just really inspirational to see how everybody, in spite of that pressure, just how gracious and kind of inspirational that is. I'm a brother. I have a sister in Arkansas right now, and I have a mother in Las Vegas who I had to leave behind for college. So she she really loves to see me for breaks. But yeah, I'm just extremely humbled to be here. Every time I walk into the building, it's just such a unique experience. Like I said, I'm a senior at UNR, and I'm involved in various research labs and things of that nature. And I hope to use those kinds of skills, bring it into this upcoming session, and hopefully use them for some good. So thank you very much.
Thank you, and welcome to the team. We look forward to having you back in Las Vegas. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Joy Guthrie, and I'm going to be serving as your committee manager along with Natalia. This is my 5th non-consecutive session for the Nevada Assembly, and I also had worked 10 sessions for the Fiscal Analysis Division, so it's always great to see all my fiscal friends here and up above. Prior to that, I was a certified legal assistant for lawyers in Reno, a couple different law firms, and when I'm not here, I am also a grandma to a 17-month-old baby girl, so I watch her and I take care of my mom, who next week will be 93.
Good morning, committee members. My name's Natalia. So excited to be in front of you guys for the second session in Ways and Means, third session in the building. I had the absolute honor of being the attaché to Assemblywoman Torres Fawcett my first session, and then my second session for Assemblywoman Monroe Moreno, and now the committee manager for Ways and Means alongside Joy. We worked together last session. I'm very excited to be back and to be in the room. I know many of you guys will come in and venture towards the afternoons when we have our meals, so happy to be of service in there. I have an associate's from CSN. I have a bachelor's from UNLV, and so aspiring grad school, seeing what options are out there. But very excited to be here, and in my free time, I love anything to do with nature, so it's very nice to be up north and not have too much snow. So thank you all.
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the committee. My name's Jeff Ferguson. I'm serving as a proofreader for Assembly Ways and Means. This was my third session doing that. Prior to that, I spent a little more than 20 years in the fiscal division, so I have a little PTSD sitting here at this table, but spent a lot of time in this room. Prior to that, though, I was actually, I worked for the research division and the audit division, so, of LCB. I'm a Nevada native, and I noticed that Assemblymember Koenig, I graduated from Churchill County High School back in 1981, and your dad was my optometrist, so I remember that well.
I think I was a freshman then.
Anyway, I'm glad to be here and looking forward to serving the committee. Thanks.
Morning, Madam Chair, members of the committee. My name is Brian Burke. I'm a proofreader this session. I've served in that capacity for 4 sessions now. Like Jeff, I retired from fiscal. I started working for the state way back in the early 80s and retired in 2012. Really love coming back here every session and serving. What I do in my spare time, my wife and I, we have 5 grandkids, and we absolutely love spending time with them. Watching their sports is one of our favorite things.
Good morning, committee. Hi, I'm Richard Jacobs. This is my first time go around, and of course I got on Ways and Means, so that's kind of fun. I've got, well, I retired back in January 3rd of this year, got bored after 2 days and said, well, let me come back here and be in the Ways and Means Committee. Why not, right? So retired after 20 years with the state of Nevada. worked for Department of Corrections for a while, did some time with Public and Behavioral Health and DCFS, and I did the last 5 years of my time with the Governor's Finance Office. So I enjoyed it all, enjoyed all my time with everything, and loved it. So now I'm looking forward to this part of my my life, which is being retired and being here. So hopefully I can be around for a few sessions and help out. Thank you very much.
My name is Gigi Stringer, Committee Secretary. I immigrated from the Philippines in 1970. I moved to Carson City from San Jose, California in 2017 when my husband of 40 years retired. I have 2 sons and 2 grandsons paired in 2 states. I got a law degree in midlife and sat for the California bar once during menopause. This is my 4th session. I keep coming back because for 2 reasons. One, I love my work in assisting you execute the noble and important work that you do. And 2, because my earnings fund my wanderlust. I'm ready for the challenges of my first session with Ways and Means.
Good morning. My name is Janet O'Salvo, and I have returned for a second session. First session, I served as the Ways assistant, and this year I am secretary. I retired from state service from the Department of Health and Human Services, different divisions, in 2021. And last fiscal year, I contracted with the Nevada Public Health Foundation nonprofit to assist in development and implementation of the Friendly Wellness at Work section of their website. And it's nice because it has employer and employee information and resources. I am passionate about my family and my grandchildren, my great-grandchildren, and everyone here is so young, listening to the dates they've graduated. Because we can exchange the expression of our genes by what we eat and how we live. I enjoy applying my holistic education with nutrition and diabetes education across a significant client base. And just fired up to be here and help out again with this legislative session. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Jake Matthews, and I will be serving as one of the committee secretaries this session. This will be my 3rd session, the 2nd as a staff member, and I did one as on the policy advocacy side. During that time, I've gotten to know many of you, which has been wonderful. And also gotten very familiar with this committee, but I can still confidently say that I know next to nothing about the process, but I'm grateful to be part of such a knowledgeable and talented staff and to learn more. And in my spare time, I love all things outdoors, hiking, camping, snowboarding, so my opinion on the snow is going to be a lot different than many of you in Southern Nevada. And I'm grateful to help conduct people's business and help keep things running smoothly. So thank you very much.
I'm Janice Wright, Committee Secretary for Ways and Means. This is my 9th session. Previous to this, I served as the Deputy Executive Director for the Nevada Department of Taxation. Then I was the Administrator of Healthcare Financing and Policy over Medicaid, and finally the Senior Deputy Treasurer for the state of Nevada. I love Ways and Means, and I also like hiking outside. Thank you.
I'm Sherry Quick. This is my first session, so Ways and Means is my first time committee, so I'm excited to be part of the team. I've heard a lot of great things.
A non-consecutive term after about 30 years in dentistry. Much different. I live in South Lake Tahoe, and my grandbabies also are the light of my life. 3 of them.
Well, thank you to all of the Ways and Means staff members. Members, as you can see, they bring a vast array of knowledge and career skills to this team. I consider our Ways and Means staff family, so welcome to the family. And you have a crazy chair. That's why we had the Purple Day yesterday. So there'll be other fun events throughout the session. But thank you so much. I truly appreciate the work that you do, the late hours that you're here with this committee, and especially myself and the vice chair getting things ready. Again, we could not do this without you. We truly appreciate you. And for those of you that are new to the team, welcome to the family. And those that came back, you're as crazy as we are. You came back again, and we appreciate that. So thank you. Next up is our Fiscal Analyst Division intros, the people who do all the really hard work.
Thank you, Madam Chair. My name is Sarah Kaufman. I serve as the Assembly Fiscal Analyst. I've been with the Fiscal Analysis Division now for 19 years, but in this role for just 4. I just want to reiterate some of the comments that the chair and speaker had made about the Fiscal Analysis Division. While you may see Mr. Leiser and Mr. Dross and myself, every single piece of material that we give to you all has been touched by the staff. And they take a lot of pride into making sure that the information that they're providing to you all is accurate and concise and well-written, so that you all have the information that you need to make informed decisions. And that is something that is extremely important to our staff. And so I just want to reiterate that I really appreciate the staff that we have here, and so grateful to be working as your Assembly fiscal analyst. And with that, I'll turn it over to Brody Leiser.
Thank you. My name is Brody Leiser, and I wanted to play second base for the Chicago Cubs, but I ended up in this role as Chief Principal Deputy Fiscal Analyst. This will be my 7th regular session with the Bureau and with the Fiscal Division. It'll be my 3rd session in this role, and prior to that, I did a little bit of time at the Department of Taxation and have been with the state for just over 20 years at this point. And what that means is I have embraced and taking on the role of becoming the grumpy old man in the Fiscal Division. And in addition to that, I do carry the COVID-19 programs budget account that has the American Rescue Plan Act Coronavirus State Fiscal Recovery Funds. So I very much enjoy session and the session part of what we do. It's amazing to watch our entire fiscal family walk into the room this morning to do introductions and just see everyone in the same room and what it takes to get this committee the information that it needs so that you can make informed decisions on the budget and get us through the 120-day session. So very much looking forward to working with everyone this session, and hopefully we get to have some fun along the way.
Good morning, Madam Chair and members of the committee. My name is Adam Drost, and I serve as the Principal Deputy Fiscal Analyst. This will be my 7th session, and my budget assignments include the State Treasurer's Office, and I'm happy to be here. Thank you.
Good morning, Madam Chair and members of the committee. I am J. Marie Mangoba, and I serve as the Principal Program Analyst. And I've been with the state for 25 years. Got 5 more years to go to retire. I've been with the Bureau since 2013, and this will be my 5th legislative session. My assigned accounts include the Nevada System of Higher Education, including WICHE, the Public Employee Retirement System, PERS, and a Secretary of State.
Good morning, Madam Chair and members of the committee. My name is Madison Ryan, and I am a program analyst with the Fiscal Analysis Division. This will be my third legislative session, and my budget assignments include the Department of Employment, Training and Rehabilitation and the Department of Business and Industry. Thank you.
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the committee. My name is Damian Meeks. I'm a program analyst with LCB Fiscal, and I have 13 years in state government service. This is my first session with LCB Fiscal, and my assignments include the Department of Administration, the Nevada Athletic Commission, Governor's Office of Energy, Governor's Office of Education, Cannabis Compliance Board, Office of Science and Information Technology, Office of New Americans, and the Public Utilities Commission. Thank you.
Good morning, Chair Monroe Moreno and members of the committee. My name is John Cusera, and I serve as a Principal Program Analyst for the Fiscal Analysis Division. It's my pleasure to call this my fourth session, and much like Brody, I'm an aspiring grumpy old man, so maybe one of these days. My budget accounts include the Division of Healthcare Financing and Policy, which is Nevada Medicaid, including the upper payment limit budget, and the Indigent Accident Fund, as well as the Lieutenant Governor's Office. And it's also my pleasure to serve and support members of my team, and we'll start with Morgan Barlow and follow with Tom Weber.
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the committees. I am Morgan Barlow, Program Analyst for the Fiscal Division. This is my second legislative session. Prior to that, I was in the investment advisory industry. This legislative session, I will carry the Director's Office of the Department of Health and Human Services. And given the nature of the Director's Office, that is where we're going to house the discussion of the reorganization of the department. So looking forward to that. And then additionally to that, this legislative session, we have split the responsibilities of the Department of Public and Behavioral Health. I will carry the public health accounts. My esteemed colleague, Justin Luna, will carry the behavioral health accounts. And then I also have the Silver State Health Insurance Exchange, also known as SHIX, and I serve as the understudy to Medicaid to John, primarily supporting him in his needs and also making sure nothing horrible happens to him during session. Thank you.
Good morning, Chairman Moreno, members of the Assembly Committee on Ways and Means. My name is Tom Weber. I'm a program analyst with the LCB Fiscal Division. This will be my second session with the division. Prior to being hired on in 2021, I served as staff to the Senate Committee on Finance during the 2019 and 2021 legislative sessions. During the 2023 legislative session, I was part of the Fiscal Division's administrative team. And this will be my first session as a program analyst. And my accounts are the Department of Public Safety, the Department of Sentencing Policy, and the Office of the Chief Information Officer. All right, thank you.
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the committee. I'm James Malone. This will be my fourth legislative session, and I have the pleasure of serving as the K-12 education lead. I also carry the core.nv budget account, as well as the Controller's Office.
Good morning. My name is Liliana Camacho Polco. I am a program analyst with the Fiscal Division. I have been with the Bureau for 12 years. This will be my second session with Fiscal. My budget account assignments include Department of Motor Vehicles, Department of Transportation, and some Department of Education budgets.
Good morning. My name is Yuri Yakovlev, Program Analyst. This is my second session with LCB Fiscal, first on the K-12 team. Prior to that, I was with LCB Audit for 3.5 years. I currently carry the State Public Charter School Authority, Department of Education, and I serve as the understudy for the Pupil-Centered Funding Plan. Thank you.
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the committee. My name's Kimbra Ellsworth. I'm a senior program analyst with the Fiscal Analysis Division. This will be my fourth legislative session, and my program assignments are the Aging and Disability Services Division of DHHS, as well as the Gaming Control Board.
Good morning. My name is Nicolette Johnston. I'm a program analyst. This is my second session with LCB Fiscal Analysis Division and my third with LCB. I have about 12 to 13 years with the state overall. And my budget accounts or departments are the Department of Agriculture, Department of Wildlife, Department of Tourism and Cultural Affairs, and Department of Native American Affairs. Thank you.
Good morning, Madam Chair and committee members. I'm Nancy Morris. I am a senior program analyst. This is my third regular session with the Fiscal Analysis Bureau. My budgets this session are the Department of Corrections, Department of Taxation, and the Peace Officer Standards and Trainings Commission.
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the committee. My name is Daniel Miller. I'm a Navy veteran, UNLV rebel, and a program analyst for the Fiscal Analysis Division. The accounts I'm carrying this session are the Division of Child and Family Services and the Office of the Military.
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the committee. For the record, I'm Alex Hartz. I serve as a principal program analyst for this session. The accounts that I will be presenting are the Public Employees Benefits Program, the Commission on Ethics, the Governor's Office of Finance, and the Department of Veteran Services.
Good morning, members of the committee. My name is Colby Nichols. I'm a program analyst with LCB Fiscal. This will be my fourth regular session after joining the division in 2018. I initially started serving as a Senate Finance Committee Secretary in 2017. Crazy enough to come back and do it for a full-time job. The privilege of serving on Team Hearts, but I've also spent time, including my first session under Jeff Ferguson, if he's still here. For this session, I have retained the Division of Welfare and Supportive Services under the Department of Health and Human Services, as well as the Department of Indigent Defense Services. And then new to me for this session would be portions of the Department of Conservation and Natural Resources. Those would be the divisions of forestry and the divisions of environmental protection. Thank you.
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the committee. I'm Stephanie Day. I serve as a principal. What is my principal program analyst? I just came back. I'm actually a retiree, so I just came back, so I'm learning my title. I have the judicial branch, which includes the Supreme Court and Commission on Judicial Discipline, and I also have the Attorney General's Office and the Governor's Office, the Agency for Nuclear Projects.
Morning, Madam Chair, members of the committee. I'm Justin Luna, program analyst. This is my second session with LCB Fiscal. Prior to that, I spent 12 years on the executive branch side, primarily in emergency management and some of the health agencies. And my budget assignments are most of the Department of Conservation and Natural Resources that I share with Mr. Nichols, the behavioral health side of DPBH that I share with my too kind colleague, Mr. Barlow, and also the Tahoe Regional Planning Agency, the Colorado River Commission, and the Division of Minerals. Happy to be here. Thank you.
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the committee. My name is Michael Nakamoto. I serve as Chief Principal Deputy Fiscal Analyst with the Fiscal Analysis Division. I'm going to try and not say things that I may regret later. This is, I've been told that I've been working for LCB for 20 years. I have the pin to prove it. I started as a proofreader for the Assembly during the 2005 session, was hired by the Fiscal Analysis Division in November of 2005, 2 weeks after Ms. Kaufman, and I have been serving on the tax team, or what is known as the tax team now, for 10 sessions, and this is my second session as the head of the tax team. You will see us in here probably from time to time. But we primarily staff the revenue committees, the Senate Committee on Revenue and Economic Development, and the Assembly Committee on Revenue, so I will see several of you this afternoon. We are also responsible for administering fiscal notes that are important to your jobs here in Ways and Means. We are also staff to the Economic Forum and provide forecasts to that body, which is also very important to your jobs. I am pleased to serve all of you and look forward to working with you all this session. Thank you.
Good morning, Susanna Powers, Deputy Fiscal Analyst. I have been with the Fiscal Division for about 3 years, or almost 3 years, and prior to that I was on the executive side for about 13 years. This is my second session, and I staff Assembly Committee on Revenue.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, committee members. My name is Christian Tauer. I'm a Deputy Fiscal Analyst with the tax team of the Fiscal Division. I started working for the Nevada Legislature during the 2019 session when I was a committee manager to the Senate, to the Assembly Committee on Health and Human Services. Soon after the 2019 session, I joined the LCB, first on the budget side, and now I'm on the revenue side, and I staff the Senate Committee on Revenue and Economic Development.
Good morning, Chair and members of the committee. My name is Haley Owens. I work as an economist in support of the tax team in the Fiscal Division. This will be my first session with the Legislative Council Bureau. Prior to that, I spent about 8 years on the executive side.
Good morning. My name is Christopher Robison. I'm a data analyst in the Fiscal Analysis Division. I've been working for LCB. This is my second session, and then prior to that, I worked for the executive branch for 13 years. My primary responsibilities are things like maintaining databases in our SharePoint site, as well as doing process automation and efficiency projects.
Good morning. My name is Cheryl Harvey. This is my 12th session. I'm 3 years, or the third session as a management analyst, and I work for the managers of the Senate side. I create the Senate agendas that track the Senate bills, and I'm also involved with the fiscal notes.
Good morning, Madam Chair and members of the committee. My name is Judy Lyons, and I am a management analyst, and I provide support to the Assembly under the direction of Sarah Kaufman. I have been with LCB for 11 years. This is my 6th session. Prior to that, I worked for the Department of Motor Vehicles and Nevada Rural Housing, and 32 years in the private sector, and I have many responsibilities as the management analyst, but recently I feel like I've become the publicist for the division, because you probably know my name behind the appropriations report, the pupil center funding plan, the all your training materials, and the fiscal report, and now the new rollout of the fiscal brief. So I'm happy to be here, and thank you very much.
Good morning. My name is Carla Ulrich. I'm the Manager of Administrative Services in the Fiscal Division. This will be my 7th session, but my 6th session with the Fiscal Division. My team and I provide administrative support to the division, and you probably will receive many emails from me over the course of session.
Good morning, Madam Chair and committee members. My name is Melissa Garvin, and this is my 2nd session with Fiscal. I am the Fiscal Division's Secretary to the Interim Finance Committee.
Good morning. My name is Basha Thomas, and I'm an Administrative Services Specialist, and this is my first session.
Good morning. My name is Natalia DeGarzoli. This is my first session with LCB. Before this, I was with the executive branch at DMV and Research and Project Management for 3 years. I am Melissa's counterpart with IFC. Thank you.
And Madam Chair, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that there are also 3 other critical members of our team. Wayne Thorley, who serves as the Senate Fiscal Analyst, Kathy Crockett, who is the Chief Principal Deputy Fiscal Analyst on the Senate side, and Julie Waller, who is the Principal Deputy Fiscal Analyst on the Senate side. They are currently in Senate Finance, so they could not come to this meeting to provide their introductions, but I just wanted to acknowledge that this is definitely a team, and both the Senate and the Assembly work together on a number of issues. So.
Thank you for that. So it looks like a lot of people, but everyone has more than one budget that they work on. So they're, I think, small but mighty. If you comparison to some staff in other states, you guys do an amazing job. And I don't know when you sleep. I often wonder that when you sleep, because when we call, no matter the time of day or night, you're always like picking up the phone and answering or answering a text. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And thank you for your new publication that you came out. We love it. We'll see a lot of each other, or talk to a lot of each other, because you guys are behind the scenes. But like I said earlier, we could not do what we do as legislators if it wasn't for all of you doing the hard work to make us all look good. You guys really put in the work. So thank you. Welcome to the 83rd session, and remember on those Saturdays and maybe a Sunday or two that you love us, okay? Just remember that. All right. Well, I know you guys got a lot of work to do. We won't hold you any longer. Members, that brings us up to the very last thing on today's agenda. It'll probably be our shortest agenda this session, so enjoy today. We have public comment. If we have anyone in the room that would like to make public comment, we invite you to the testimony table. I'm not seeing anyone in the room in Las Vegas, but if there is anyone, I invite you to the table there. If you are joining us and would like to call in for public comment, the number for today's meeting is 888-475-4499. Our meeting ID is 884-6250. 5055, and then please press pound. And we will start here in Carson City, and then we'll move to Las Vegas if anyone happens to show up at the table, and then we'll go to our phone line. So go ahead.
Madam Chair, members of the committee, good morning. For the record, I am Brian Wallace, a middle school teacher here in Carson City and Vice President of the Nevada State Education Association. The Nevada State Education Association has been the voice of Nevada educators for over 125 years. Last week's meeting of the Budget Subcommittee revealed concerning news of proposed reductions to per-pupil funding in the governor's budget submission. Even after record increases in education funding during the last session, Nevada continues to trail the national average by more than $4,000 per student. If per-pupil funding is reduced, Nevada students will fall further and further behind. In 2019, the legislature created the Commission on School Funding and asked them to present a plan to reach optimal educational funding in 10 years. The Commission developed a plan to do this by raising revenue with an expanded sales tax base and the closure of the property tax loopholes. The plan calls for $700 increases to per-pupil funding in each of the next 2 years, costing just over $600 million over the biennium. In his State of the State address, Governor Lombardo said Nevada can no longer blame a lack of funding for underperformance in schools. At the same time, his budget fails to follow the recommendations of the Funding Commission and instead proposes to cut per-pupil funding. This is why we are asking the legislature to reject this proposal and continue to work to address Nevada's chronic underfunding of education. We must pass the plan offered by the Commission on School Funding to reach optimal education funding in the next 10 years. 2 years ago, NSCA came to this table saying it was time for 20. We had issues with the mechanics of SB 231, and progress was made, and we were able to negotiate 20% raises for our teachers and support staff in many of our Nevada districts. However, to continue the progress on education retention, these funds should be made permanent, and frankly, new funds are going to be needed. Continued progress will require significant political will and discipline to remain focused on this task. Proposals to divert public funds away from public schools, whether that be through a new mechanism to expand private school vouchers or a giveaway to Hollywood studios, should be rejected. Throughout this session, educators, who are both our teachers and our dedicated support staff from across the state, will amplify their voices, sharing their powerful stories and their firsthand experiences that highlight the pressing needs of our schools, the challenges faced by all our educators, and the resources required to ensure every student can truly thrive in the state of Nevada. We hope their insights will serve as a call to action, reminding you that meaningful change begins with listening to those that are on the front lines, including me, and prioritizing the needs of our public schools, our educators, and our students, who will then go on to make our communities even that much more rich. Thank you.
Thank you. Not seeing anyone else here in Carson City for public comment, and not seeing anyone at the table in Las Vegas. BPS, do we have anyone joining us on the phone line that would like to make public comment at this time?
Thank you, Chair. The public line is open and working, but we have no callers to provide public comment at this time.
Thank you so much. So members, that concludes today's agenda. We will meet here again bright and early tomorrow at 8 a.m., where we'll have a review of the legislative audit summaries, and we'll also have budget hearings from the governor's office and the lieutenant governor's office. And I will remind everyone that we will have an evening meeting, our first evening meeting tomorrow at 5 p.m. or upon adjournment of the afternoon committee. So y'all have to remember early that you love me and you love each other. So we'll see you all tomorrow. This meeting's adjourned.